This week's blazing lick is going to get you out of the old familiar minor pentatonic box and help you get chicks worldwide. Check it out. Hey there kids, and welcome to a brand new installment of Weekend Wankshop here with your best buddy, Uncle Ben. The minor pentatonic scale is one of the most important scales for any guitar player to know, but a lot of us really wrestle with learning how to play that thing all over the fingerboard of the guitar. And of course you can learn the 5 different positions of the minor pentatonic scale, but even then a lot of players still feel like they're just playing boxes connected to other boxes across the neck. This week's lick is going to have you slipping and sliding around the neck in the key of E minor on the G, B, and E strings. Hopefully it'll inspire some ideas in you to get your pentatonic licks out of the familiar 12th fret box position. But of course, before we get into it, let's hear it again at stepdad speed. And as always, you can find a full tab for this week's lick over on my Instagram page, so be sure to follow me at Eller Guitars. Find the tab for this week's lick, learn how to play it, then upload a video of yourself shredding through it along with the hashtag WeekendWankshop. So for starters, the E minor pentatonic scale is a whole lot more than just that 12th position box your stepdad showed you. It's a specific set of notes. It's E, G, A, B, D in repeating order. Even whenever you play that 12th position, when it's E, G, A, B, D, E, G, A, B, D, E, G, and if you know the rest of those notes across the neck, A, B, D, you could keep it going all over the entire fretboard of the guitar. So keep that in mind as we go through all these different positions of this lick, that everything that we're playing, even if it's not in the 12th fret box here, is an E, a G, an A, a B, or a D note. This entire lick is based around sextuplets, which means you should be feeling 6 notes passing over each beat that goes by. So here's the first position of the lick. It's a total of 9 notes long, so that means it's going over 1.5 beats worth of time. What you're going to do is to start off here on your 8th fret B string, that's your G note, pulling off to your 5th fret B string, there's your E note. Next, play the D here on 7, it's your D note, then go back to that 5th fret B string that you're holding down. After you hit that, hammer back onto 8. It's kind of standard fare so far. Now we have. Next, play the 5th on the high E string, that's your A note. And then the last part of the lick here, you're going to play 8 on the B, pulling to 5, and then the 7 on the G. So the whole thing should sound like this. There's about a million ways you could pick that. We'll cover the picking after we learn the positions of the lick. So after you play that first section there, what you're going to do is to play that 8th fret B string again and immediately slide up to the 10th fret B. So in other words, you're coming out of this, and then grab that 8th B and slide it to the 10th B, your A note. After you get up there from the slide, we're going to do this. After you slide into the 10, you're going to pull back off to 8, play the 9th on the G, back to the 8 on the B, hammer to 10. Here you're going to stretch out and play the 7 on the high E. You're probably going to be tempted to play the 8 because that's kind of where you are, but you got to stretch out and grab the 7. That's a B note. That's a C note. That's not in the scale, so that's why we're grabbing that guy. So after you play, you're going to go back to the B string here on 10, pull off to 8, then grab the 9 on the G. So we've had essentially the same lick in 2 different positions here of the scale. After that, you're going to play that 10th fret on the B string and slide into 12. After that, pull off to 10. So I slid in, pull off. Then you're going to play the 12 on the G, 10th B hammering onto 12, and then play the 10 on the high E string. So that whole section sounds like this. So you'll notice that section was significantly shorter than the first 2. That's to give us an even count of 4 beats. That way you end up with a lick that encompasses, a whole measure of music. 1, 2, 3, 4. Man alive, that is hard to do and count at the same time. So after you leave off from that last short lick, You're going to grab the 12 on the B and slide up to 15. Now you're going to be in kind of the familiar pentatonic box up here at the 12th position. So 12 sliding into 15, pull off to 12, 14 G, 12th B, hammer on to 15, 12th E, back to 15th B, pulling off to 12, and then the 14th G. So this section will sound like this. Another 9-note long phrase. After that, what you're going to do is grab the 15 on the B, slide up to 17, pull back off to 15, 16 on the G, then you're going to grab that 15 on the B again, hammer on to 17, 15th high E, and back to your B string here, you're going to play that 17, pulling to 15 again, and then the 16 on the G. So that lick sounds like... After that, I decided to break away from the pattern that this lick has established and end with kind of a familiar descending threes pattern, just to break up the monotony of the whole thing. So to play that, you're going to play the 17 on the high E, pulling off to 15, 17th B, 15th high E, and then on the B string here, you're going to play 17, pulling to 15. So that's... After that, land back on that 17th fret B string, your E note, to kind of resolve the whole thing and end on the root. And just give it a little slide off like that. I'll play through those positions again, and again, concentrate on how it's like a long pattern, a long pattern, a short pattern, a long pattern, a long pattern, a short pattern. And try to mess around and get creative with that rhythmic grouping pattern too, because like I said, if you play the long pattern and another long pattern and then the short pattern, it ends up being an even 4 beats. That means you could rearrange that any way you wanted to. You could do a long pattern, a short pattern, a long pattern, and that would end up as 4 beats as well. If you did long, short, long, it sounds something like this. It's a cool way to mix it up a little bit. Probably the most logical way to pick through this entire thing would just be to alternate pick the entire thing, being mindful of the hammer-ons and pull-offs and stuff throughout there. But yeah, you could just start off on a downstroke and alternate pick your way through it, like down, up, down, up, down, up. That's got a lot of kind of inside string changes in it. You know, like right away you got a downstroke on the B, then an upstroke on the G. So if you're the kind of player that favors outside string changes, you might find that kind of tricky. I know that I do. But of course, if you never practice anything that challenges you, you'll never get better as a player. So let's do practice that way. Down, up, 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 down, up. Just like that through the whole lick. So before I started filming, I sat down and kind of analyzed what I was doing naturally picking wise, and I'm sad to report that what I was doing doesn't make any sense at all. What I found that I was doing is up, down, down, down. That makes 0 sense. Up, down, down, down. That is the most homeschooled picking pattern you could possibly play in that. Up, down, down, down. I don't even understand why I'm doing it that way. And it feels weird as all crap whenever I play it slow like that, but for some reason when I play it fast, that is naturally what I want to do. That's one of those things that I chalk it up to me running away from inside string changes for years. You know, so I end up doing stuff in really jacked up ways sometimes just out of habit. That's why it's important to, like I said, practice it the hard way. I know that I will be. That long phrase is also really comfortable if you add in some economy picking and go up, down, down, like that. Up, down, down. That makes that string change a little bit easier to do. You could continue by going up, down, down. That feels pretty good to play it that way. Then just restart up, down, down. That feels pretty smooth to play it that way too. So there you go guys, another sick lick to inspire your creativity and help you get chicks. Thanks as always for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You guys can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Ben Eller Guitars. I have a Facebook fan page over on facebook.com/Uncle Ben Eller. And if you'd like to ask about booking some one-on-one Skype lessons with me, be sure to drop me an email, benellerguitars@gmail.com. Stay tuned next week for another sick lick with a very special guest. So stay tuned for that. Should be really cool. Thanks for watching. Cheers, guys.